Today we are going to see about nephron. Introduction. A nephron is the functional unit of the kidney responsible for filtering blood and producing urine. It consists of a renal corpuscle which includes the glomerulus and a renal tubule. The nephron plays a crucial role in regulating the body's water and electrolyte balance by filtering waste and excess substances from the blood. Nephron is the basic structural and functional unit of kidney which helps in formation of urine. The word nephron is derived from the Greek word nephros, meaning kidney. There are about millions of nephrons in each human kidney. Types of nephron. There are two main types of nephrons in the kidneys. Cortical nephrons. These nephrons are located in the outer cortex of the kidney. They have shorter loops of Henle that extended only a short distance into the medulla. Cortical nephrons are primarily responsible for filtering blood and reabsorbing essential substances such as water and electrolytes. Juxtamedullary nephrons. Juxtamedullary nephrons are located near the medulla of the kidney. They have longer loops of Henle that extend deep into the medulla. These nephrons play a crucial role in concentrating urine and regulating the body's water and salt balance more efficiently than cortical nephrons. Anatomy of nephrons. It is a long tube-like structure. Its length varies from 35 to 55 mm long. The structure of nephron comprises two major portions, renal corpuscle and renal tubule. At one end, the tube is closed, folded and expanded into a cup-like structure called the Bowman's capsule or renal corpuscle capsule, which has cluster of blood vessels called the glomerulus. This capsule and glomerulus together constitute the renal corpuscle. Renal corpuscle is equal to Bowman's capsule plus glomerulus. Renal corpuscle. It consists of glomerulus surrounded by a Bowman's capsule. The glomerulus arises from an afferent arteriole and empties into an efferent arteriole. The Bowman's capsule is made up of simple squamous epithelial cells and divided into three layers, outer, middle and inner. Outer. It is made up of epithelial cells with minute pores of diameter 22 nanometer. Middle. It is made up of fibrils etc. This layer is selectively permeable. Inner. It consists of large cells called podocytes which bear finger-like projections called podocell. Podocytes are covering of glomerulus. It contains filtration cells which prevents the filtration of medium-sized proteins. The renal corpuscle is the initial filtering component of the nephron. It includes the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. The glomerulus is a network of capillaries that filters blood, allowing small molecules and waste products to enter the renal tubule. Bowman's capsule surrounds the glomerulus and collects the filtered fluid, which is then processed in the renal tubule. Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule, also known as the renal corpuscular tubule, is a cup-shaped structure that surrounds the glomerulus within the renal corpuscle, which is the initial part of a nephron in the kidney. The Bowman's capsule, together with the glomerulus, forms the renal corpuscle, where the process of filtration begins in the nephron. Filtration. Bowman's capsule is responsible for capturing and collecting the filtrate. The glomerulus, a network of capillaries, filters blood under pressure, allowing small molecules such as water, ions and waste products to pass through its walls and into the Bowman's capsule. Filtrate processing. Once the filtrate is collected in the Bowman's capsule, it flows into the renal tubule, starting with the proximal convoluted tubule. The tubular system then processes the filtrate by reabsorbing essential substances and secreting waste products to form urine. Selective permeability. Bowman's capsule has specialized cells and structures that maintain the selective permeability of its walls, allowing certain substances to pass through while retaining larger molecules like proteins in the bloodstream. Renal tubule. The renal tubule is a long and convoluted structure that emerges from the glomerulus and can be divided into three parts based on function. The proximal convoluted tubule. Due to its proximity to the glomerulus, it stays in the renal cortex. Loop of Henle or nephritic loop because it forms a loop that goes through the renal medulla. The third part of the renal tubule is called distal convoluted tubule, and this part is also restricted to the renal cortex. Bowman's capsule extends to form highly coiled tubules called PCT. PCT continues to form the loop of Henle which ascends to DCT, which in turn opens into the collecting duct. The renal tubule is a long, convoluted tubule that processes the filtered fluid from the renal corpuscle. It consists of several segments including the proximal convoluted tubule, the loop of Henle, the distal convoluted tubule, and the connecting tubule. The renal tubule reabsorbs essential substances like water, electrolytes, and glucose while secreting waste products and excess substances into the tubular fluid. Proximal convoluted tubule (PCT). The blood brought by the renal artery is filtered by the glomerulus and then passed to the PCT. Maximum reabsorption takes place in PCT of the nephron. PCT is the region of renal tubule where reabsorption of essential substances like glucose, proteins, amino acids, a major portion of electrolytes, and water takes many place. It is made up of simple cuboidal epithelium in them. It selectively secretes ions such as hydrogen, ammonia, and potassium into the filtrate and absorbs HCO from it. Thus, PCT maintains the electrolyte and acid-base balance of nephron. Convoluted tubule (PCT) is a major component of the renal tubule in each nephron of the kidney. It is located immediately after the renal corpuscle and consists of a tightly coiled tube. The PCT plays a crucial role in the reabsorption of various substances from the filtrate that was initially formed in the glomerulus. Key functions of the proximal convoluted tubule include reabsorption of water. The PCT reabsorbs a significant portion of the water from the filtrate, returning it to the bloodstream. This reabsorption helps in maintaining the body's overall water balance. Reabsorption of solutes. Various solutes including glucose, amino acids, and ions like sodium, potassium, and bicarbonate are reabsorbed in the PCT. This process ensures that essential substances are retained in the body. Segregation of waste. The PCT also secretes certain waste products such as drugs and toxins from the bloodstream into the tubular fluid for eventual elimination in urine. Acid-base regulation. The PCT is involved in maintaining the body's acid-base balance by reabsorbing bicarbonate and secreting hydrogen ions. Henle's loop. Henle's loop has a descending and an ascending limb. Both the descending and ascending limbs show different permeability. The descending limb is permeable to water but impermeable to an electrolyte, while the ascending limb is permeable to electrolytes but impermeable to water. Henle's loop, also known as loop of Henle, is a U-shaped portion of the renal tubule in each nephron of the kidney. It is located after the proximal convoluted tubule and before the distal convoluted tubule. Henle's loop has two main segments. Descending limb. The descending limb of Henle's loop extends from the cortex of the kidney down into the medulla. It is permeable to water but not to salt, which allows for the reabsorption of water from the tubular fluid, concentrating it as it descends into the medulla. Ascending limb. The ascending limb of Henle's loop returns to the cortex of the kidney. It has a thin and thick segment. The thin segment is permeable to water and salt, allowing for further water reabsorption. The thick ascending limb is impermeable to water but reabsorbs ions such as sodium and chloride into the instertium. This process contributes to the dilution of the tubular fluid. Henle's loop plays a crucial role in the kidney's ability to concentrate and dilute urine. By creating a concentration gradient in the medulla, it allows the kidney to regulate water balance and create waste products effectively. This process is essential for maintaining the body's overall fluid and electrolyte balance. Distal convoluted tubule. The DCT, which is the last part of nephron, connects and empties its contents into collecting ducts that line the medullary pyramids. The collecting ducts amass contents from multiple nephrons and fuse together as they enter the papillae of the renal medulla. Similar to PCT, DCT also secretes ions such as hydrogen, potassium, NH3 into the filtrate by reabsorbing the HCO3 from the filtrate. Conditional reabsorption of sodium ions and water takes place in DCT. Thus, it maintains the pH and sodium-potassium level in the blood cells. The DCT is a portion of the renal tubule in each nephron of the kidney, located after Henle's loop. The DCT plays a significant role in the final processing and regulation of urine. Key functions of the distal convoluted tubule include ion transport. The DCT is involved in the selective reabsorption and secretion of ions such as sodium, potassium, calcium, and hydrogen ions. This helps in fine-tuning the body's electrolyte balance and pH regulation. Hormone response. The DCT responds to hormones including aldosterone and parathyroid hormone to regulate the reabsorption of specific ions. For example, aldosterone increases sodium reabsorption and PTH increases calcium reabsorption. Acid-base balance. The DCT is involved in maintaining the body's acid-base balance by reabsorbing bicarbonate and secreting hydrogen ions. Water reabsorption. While the primary site for water reabsorption is the earlier proximal convoluted tubule, the DCT can also fine-tune water reabsorption based on the hormonal signals and the body's hydration needs. Overall, the DCT is essential for regulating the composition of urine, responding to hormonal signals, and maintaining the body's fluid and electrolyte balance. It prepares the filtrate for excretion as urine while conserving vital substances and responding to the body's psychological needs. Collecting duct. It is also called as duct of Bellini. Collecting duct is a long straight tube where H plus and K plus ions are secreted to maintain the electrolyte balance of the blood. This is also the region where the maximum reabsorption of water takes place to produce concentrated urine. The collecting duct is the final portion of the renal tubule in each nephron of the kidney, responsible for further processing and concentrating urine. It receives urine from the DCT of multiple nephrons. Key functions of collecting duct include concentration of urine. The collecting duct plays a vital role in concentrating urine by reabsorbing water from the tubular fluid. It does so by responding to the hormone antidiuretic hormone which controls water reabsorption. Sodium and potassium regulation. The collecting duct can also reabsorb or excrete sodium and potassium ions, helping to regulate the body's electrolyte balance. Acid-base balance. It is involved in regulating the body's acid-base balance by secreting hydrogen ions and reabsorbing bicarbonate ions. Final adjustment. The collecting duct makes final adjustment to the composition of urine, ensuring that waste products are eliminated while conserving essential substances. Mechanism of urine formation. The process of urine formation in the kidneys involves several steps and complex mechanisms. Here's an overview of how urine is formed. Filtration. The process begins in the renal corpuscle, which consists of glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. Blood is filtered in the glomerulus under pressure, allowing small molecules like water, ions, glucose and waste products to pass through the capillary walls and enter Bowman's capsule. This initial filtrate is known as glomerular filtrate. Reabsorption. From Bowman's capsule, the glomerular filtrate enters the renal tubule, starting with the PCT. In the renal tubule, essential substances like glucose, amino acids, and most of the filtered water are reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. This process helps to maintain the body's overall balance of these substances. Secretion. As the filtrate moves along the renal tubule, certain waste products, toxins, and excess substances are actively secreted into the tubular fluid. This additional secretion helps eliminate unwanted substances from the body. Concentration. In the loop of Hindley, which has descending and ascending limbs, water can be reabsorbed, concentrating the urine. This process is regulated by the hormone antidiuretic hormone, which controls the permeability of the collecting duct to water. Fine-tuning. The DCT and the collecting duct make further adjustments to the composition of urine. Here, the reabsorption and secretion of ions like sodium, potassium, and hydrogen ions are fine-tuned. Hormones such as aldosterone and parathyroid hormone influence these processes. Urine formation. The final product, urine, exits the collecting duct and flows into the renal pelvis and down the ureter to the urinary bladder. The bladder stores urine until it is eliminated from the body to the urethra. The process of urine formation is regulated by various hormones including ADH, aldosterone and PTH to maintain the body's fluid and electrolyte balance. It ensures the elimination of waste products while conserving essential substances. Thank you.